Hello, everyone. I wanted to welcome you to our mid-semester week 8 of 7060, our DNP leadership course. First of all, I want to thank each of you for your patience and your diligence in staying engaged in the 7060 course, the 7000 or 7001 class that you're taking, and also your 7070 policy class. The DNP online courses, and of course your statistics class that's being taught subsequently this semester as well. First of all, I wanted to just read a couple things from our quantum leadership book that I thought might be pertinent sort of to the circumstances that we've had over the last maybe 3 to 4 weeks. I have taught at Weber for 17 years and have never seen a semester with so many challenges and so many unanticipated variables affecting faculty as well as students. I'm sure all of us have been reflective upon 2020 with the advent of COVID-19 and some of the implications there, many of the changes in our lifestyle and daily quality of life, living circumstances. But this semester, as you know, we've had some Canvas updates which have created some issues, as well as our windstorm. And truthfully, for me personally, 3 out of the last 4 weeks, I still have continued to have internet access issues. Last week, as several of you may or may not know, I had to grade on my phone, which was very difficult from a screen size perspective, even though I wear glasses. Was able to read what I needed to read. It was very difficult to grade in the rubrics and make comments. So I will go back and check all of the recently graded assignments just to make sure that they are accurate. If you notice anything from a rubric perspective that doesn't match the comments, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'll go back and make sure that those rubrics were reflective of the intent of the grade. Pushing on the rubric with my thumb sometimes didn't always initiate a response, and so I tried to go back and make sure that all of those choices in the rubric were correct. So what I thought I'd do is talk a little bit about normative and non-normative crisis related to that circumstance that we all have just experienced. So crisis is not always stimulated by cataclysmic events, which we know, and sometimes crisis can be stimulated by simple occurrences, an accidental movement or moment in time that creates a circumstance that may or may not be difficult for this period of time that we're in. And so I attest to the windstorm and some of the subsequent issues associated with that, as well as postponement of due dates, meaning that I had on one Monday 16 different assignments submitted that I needed to grade. And even though you weren't in all 4 of my classes, each of you probably experienced the need to submit multiple assignments on the same day, which hopefully wasn't too stressful since you had some ability to work on those assignments over time. But critical events and unanticipated situations can be the end product of a convergence of forces unknown at any given time, yet operating inexplorably to create an impact or cause that results in stress or coping that is unanticipated. So that comes from page 268 of the book. If you go over to page 269, the leader's perception of crisis is described as contemporary leaders must recognize the importance of adaptive and predictive skills related to managing crisis. So the intent of postponing due dates and or adjusting some of the options that you have from now until the end of the semester were my attempt to help with a crisis that none of us anticipated, and to allow you a little bit more freedom or flexibility as we move through the semester. I appreciate your diligence in participating in the course and also your ability to be patient with me as I've continued to grade multiple assignments submitted at the same time. So I can say I'm caught up in all of the courses except for 7060. I've reviewed the Unit B discussion and case studies briefly, and I will be grading those over the next couple of days. My pattern in grading is to usually submit comments to each and every student, letting you know that I've reviewed what you have submitted and the pertinent ideas I think that are relevant to the units or the assignments. So one final point related to understanding crisis and leadership is if a leader is unable to accommodate the critical variables embedded in the crisis of change, followers will be no more successful in confronting the demands or meeting the changes from their perspective. So this is, again, I'm just using it as an example of leadership and crisis, which crisis and conflict and differences are very prominent in any leadership role. And I hope this is just one circumstance that you'll remember. And hopefully as you move on to become DNP leaders or DNP FNP leaders, that you'll remember this personal circumstance that we all shared. And hopefully that will influence your ability to be the most effective leader you can. And I assure you, based on the things that I'm reading from each of you, that I believe that to be the case, that you are going to be exceptional leaders and contribute much to our future of nursing and the influence that DNP leaders and FNP leaders that have a DNP degree will be able to affect. So just a quick reminder, I've given you several, I'm calling them options. There's 3 different options. You are eligible for all options. I have, again, posted those in this announcement. But remember, under each option, you typically have 2 or 3 choices to participate in. You get to choose one choice in each of the option categories for free points related to the Nance Book Club. That is free points for both the initial discussion, posting, and the reply. For the Unit C and D discussions and also the Stay Connected discussions, there are a few criteria that you need to review. So for the Stay Connected, again, those discussions are for initial post as well as reply. But for the Unit C and D discussion, the free points are only for the replies. And I ask that you do review your student postings quickly in those 2 unit discussions, as each of you are discussing different cases or different aspects of the unit, and the review of your peer postings will allow you to be illuminated a little bit by their perspectives and help you understand some of the principles and concepts that we're reviewing. Let me know if you need anything, and once again, I appreciate everybody and their patience, their diligence, and your ability to succeed under circumstances that have been less than ideal. Let me know if you need anything, and I will be in touch.